If Jutland Skies had come out in, say, 1982, it seems likely we'd be calling it a 2600 Classic, a super impressive aerial combat game. However, Jutland Skies didn't come out in the 80s. Instead, this is a modern homebrew made by a passionate community who has had decades to build on decades of development. And that gives modern homebrew programmers in some ways a boost compared to their late 70s and early 80s counterparts. The original programmers had nothing like Atari Basic after all, nor the communal knowledge that we have today online. Nonetheless, Jutland Skies is clearly a great 2600 game, an instant classic really, and available for free on the VCS. Jutland Skies had its gameplay mostly developed first, but at some point a suggestion was made to place it into the Battle of Jutland and reenact a particularly famous incident where a pilot managed to single-handedly fly through enemy forces and land in neutral territory. The story works very well for the game and gives it simple shoot-and-score gameplay context that adds a lot to the experience. Jutland Skies has a history lesson of a manual, thanks to an included public domain entry that isn't given a citation. The manual art is particularly nice. Apparently, Jutland Skies received a limited physical release at a convention thanks to retailer and YouTube channel Zero Page Homebrew, but the game is mostly available as a free 2600 ROM and now on the VCS. K.R.A.Z and Kiki 2600 have released quite a few game ROMs on the VCS, some with a cost and some free. The past 2 years in particular has seen an influx of homebrew released on the VCS, even as Atari's own VCS publishing has slowed down. It makes for a good mix, with the rest of the indie development happening here, where people can sell maybe dozens of copies, but get important feedback and word of mouth from actual players who enjoy the VCS as a home for creativity. Selling dozens, maybe several hundred, can mean a lot to some of these developers who aren't getting these kinds of numbers on the severely clogged storefronts of Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation. It's discovery and abuse of its mechanics that contribute to the reason these storefronts are clogged, and that same lack of discovery for real game devs on these storefronts is a key reason the VCS is a cool place in 2025. There's not too much to say about Jutland Skies other than you shoot what you can for points and fuel while avoiding getting hit. Think Air Raiders meets a slower River Raid. You'll shoot planes with a typical button and fire bombs by pushing down on the stick while firing. The goal is to get all the way to land, then defeat the Red Baron and an armored vehicle. Winning means starting over with fuel that depletes more quickly. I have yet to reach land myself, as the game is surprisingly tricky. Jutland Skies is a great 2600 game and a good time on the VCS. It's free, so of course you should at least add it to your library while you can. As with all 2600 games, both the classic joystick and modern controller are supported. Thanks for watching. I'm releasing videos as I go through as much of the VCS store catalog as I can, so subscribe if you're into it and like to say thanks and help spread the word about this channel. Have fun!